Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends, and it is time for Friday Night Lights, week number 10. Where does the time go, Willie Walls and Swami? You blink, we're at week 10. Willie, dude, I was so close last week. If a man named Gardner Minshew actually was good, the rest of my lineup put up like 180 points. Minshew put up 4.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You sound like when Swami had that lineup that was fire, and he had his quarterback. I forgot who it was straight up ass cheeks. I forgot who it was.
Swami, who was your cheeks quarterback? Because mine was Minshew.
His name was Gardner Minshew. Maybe you heard of him, Doc.
I'm telling you, guys, it's impossible to be that bad. All right, I'm going to focus on this week. We're going to focus on this week, and we're going to try to get people some big victories, big payments, big contest wins. Let's kick it off, guys. 1 o'clock. San Francisco goes to Tampa. That game's at 50.5. Everything my being is saying, take the 49ers, Willie. Purdy's a good play. McCaffrey is back. Kittle's in play. Deebo Samuel is in play. Lots to like here. What are your thoughts?
I think it's good plays, but I also think it could be a smoke screen. And what I mean by that is, since McCaffrey's back, you got to remember, he's going to take some of that pass receiving. I mean, we don't know what his thing is going to be this week, because you got to remember, Jordan Mason didn't catch passes. You know what I mean? So now McCaffrey could take away some of that. So it could be to that point where, it could be a good play, but not the GPP win and take down the Slate play, is what I mean by that. I mean, there are plays like Kittle is still in play, but I want to see what Kittle's catches are going to be, with McCaffrey back in the game. And then you also got Jennings back, right? So Jennings is back, and what does Jennings do? He takes some of the area that the Kittle's was in. So I'm just saying, so that's going to make it more interesting to me. So that's why I'm gonna have a little bit of it. But what I'm gonna do is my tight end builds are going to be built on 2 people that I really think is going to get a lot of volume on the slate. But I mean they're good plays. I mean they're good plays, but to me they're not take down the slate plays for me.
Swami, let me ask you this question. Tampa comes off a rough game on Monday night, right? Game that they probably should have gone for 2 and try to win. Now it's a short week. You got to play San Francisco coming off a bye with McCaffrey. Talk to me here. Are the Bucs due for a disaster?
No, I don't think they do for a disaster. Obviously, their offense is missing their 2 best players probably on the offense, but the defense and the team, like they showed you, they still fighting, they still competing. And I think they probably going to compete again this week. I don't just think because McCaffrey's coming back that the offense is going to be clicking with him in it. I think Purdy is still going to have to make plays. I think Kittle is still his guy. And like always, my good buddy, he'll point out the fact that Mason didn't catch passes, and he'll automatically kind of correlate that with the fact that then Purdy won't have to throw the ball. Purdy still has to throw the ball for anybody to catch passes. And I think McCaffrey being back opens it up more for everybody else than what it would have with Mason. So it's just a different way of looking at the same situation. So I would say that Jennings probably just getting back. I wouldn't automatically think that he's going to be the guy. So I just still think it's Kittle. I still think I would be interested in maybe him and Deebo and Purdy. And I think that the McCaffrey will just allow those plays to probably have a little bit of a edge because they won't have to deal with as much coverage as they have been.
I know you guys don't talk a lot about ownership, but Brock Purdy is going to be close to 15% on this shorter slate. Do we want a 15% Brock Purdy, Willie?
Listen, it doesn't matter about the percentages, as long as you get the right people that's in that game. But I mean, he's definitely in play because look what Tampa Bay has done. They have given it up to these top three scores to the last four teams. Two of them were from Kirk Cousins and Mahomes. When the last time Mahomes scored like that? When is the last time you see Mahomes do that? As great as he has been ass meat when it comes to fantasy purposes. I'm not talking about as a
quarterback. But this was easy to analyze because Tampa plays a cover two. They play zone. Hopkins and Kelsey thrive in that. It made sense. Here, Debo thrives, Kittle thrives, Jennings thrives. It does make sense that Purdy should have a good week.
Yeah, he should be. But you know what happens? If it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. And this whole slate is a little woozy that for things that can happen. This slate, and I agree with Swan when I said, "Damn it, this is ugly slate." This slate could go any way, and I won't be shocked. Way this goes. But I mean, but preferably they do. San Francisco look good, and Purdy is in a great spot. He is in a great spot. I'm going to have a little bit of Purdy. I'm not going to fade him because he's definitely in play. But I think it's going to be a quarterback that we are not even looking at that might get this 30 points that we're not seeing.
Doc, I just wanted to simply say that Purdy has thrown for, I believe, 5 touchdowns and no interceptions in his 2 games against them. I think we'll see something very similar to what we saw in those games. And at 15%, that's not so crazy on this slate where you go, I think I want to just fade him. I think even if he was at 15%, Doc, you might want him in one of your 3.
Now, Neural Skyway, congratulations. He finished top 300 in the Millie Maker because he had Gesicki and JSN. He's saying Shepard and Shakir. We'll get to Shakir. Are we in on Shepard? I mean, I'm okay with Shepard. I don't think he's a must play.
No, thank you.
I'm not mad at Shepard. I saw he kind of got some love last week, but again, I just don't think it's enough. When you start talking Gesicki and JSN, their target share and what they're able to do with the amount of targets that they get is just much different than Shepard. Like you take his 5 targets that he might get, there's no way he can have the kind of performance that JSN had or Gesicki. Like you have to get double-digit targets. I just don't see Sterling Shepard being a focal point at offense right now. So no, thank you.
All right, let's get to Atlanta goes to the Saints, 46.5. Now, let's talk about this here. Chris Olave out. You've got Kamara. You've got Taysom Hill. On the other side, you got Bijan. Looks like Drake London's going to give it a go. Looks like he's going to give it a go. But you also have Mooney. You've got Ray McLeod. You got Kyle Pitts. Swami, your Falcons here, the Saints. What do you think about this one?
I'll say give me Alvin Kamara. Give me Mooney. And I think I'm going to let you and Walls have the rest. I would be interested maybe in a skinny step. But I think I would just take Kamara and Mooney, and I'm going to let you guys have the rest of it.
Willie, is Kamara a must? Because the Falcons give up a ton of receptions to opposing running backs, and they have no receivers. Do you feel like Kamara is a must play in this one?
Well, the interesting thing about Kamara on this one is he scored 30 points and didn't have no touchdowns.
Because Taysom Hill had the 2 touchdowns.
I'm just saying he scored 30 points and didn't have the touchdown. So, obviously he's in play. But then if you look at the last 2 weeks, it's been 52% and 40% of it usage that this dude has had, which is crazy touches. I mean, that's crazy. Now, is he going to get the same touches in this game? He's not playing North Carolina, okay? He's playing Atlanta, okay? Atlanta is a good team, and Atlanta can control that ball. So those touches and things that he was getting, he might not be getting. It could be a different scenario.
You're right, Willie. Wouldn't it be great if we had maybe a sample of him playing against them this year? Maybe that would be helpful in determining how many touches he might get. Look here.
Oh yeah, you do. Oh, and you do have that.
It looks like he had over 25 touches. Look at that.
Yeah, but also look at this too. Their damn team is different than that team was when they played them.
So
They
they'll
got
need
no.
to
They got no. They got no Shaheed. They got no Olave. They got me and you playing ball.
Which
Okay?
sounds like
Not
more.
me.
More.
Yeah, it might be, and see, and that's why I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be under on Kamara. I'm gonna go to somebody else that you're scared to play because you're scared that the quarterback's gonna take the touches. Because I want to go with somebody that I know. There's been 3 guys. There's been 6 guys that got 36 or more points, DraftKings points, and there's 1 guy got 3 other games like that. So I understand and I get it. Kamara is the play, but he's also priced up to 8,100. And he's coming off a big game, and he's going to have big ownership.
And
so I'm gonna be underweight on Kamara in this game,
and I'm gonna be overweight. I'm gonna be locked in. I'll tell you this, Doc. That other guy he's gonna mention when he mentioned him, because he haven't mentioned him yet. When he do mention him, you mentioned to him that those games were competitive. Each game he talked about, I think all 3 were decided by 3 points or less. So you tell him that when he talks about this week.
Is this game gonna be competitive?
No, sir.
Do we like Taysom Hill in this game at all?
I do like Taysom Hill. I do like Taysom Hill at tight end because the reason he had over 35 touches, they got to use him. He played 7 snaps at quarterback, played 10 snaps he played 10 snaps at tight end, he played 7 snaps at receiver. They moved him all over the place. And when you got a guy that can get the ball at the goal line, and at this price point, I think Taysom Hill is a hell of a play in this game.
Not a hell of a play. He's okay. Just like you said on first look, he's touchdown dependent. And so because he's touchdown dependent, if he doesn't get in, you're going to have a wet napkin. So I don't know about a hell of a play. He's decent, but he's definitely touchdown dependent.
What about, let's get to Bijan. We like Bijan. Bijan, great player. The Saints defense, not really as good as it's been in the past. Is Bijan, Swami, do we feel like, I know you mentioned Mooney. I like Mooney too. Ray McLeod. New Orleans has been bad against slot receivers. Bijan's there. London's there. Are we trying to figure out who's going to get it, or do we kind of know who's going to get it for Atlanta?
I think Bijan is always a man of interest. I think we all see his talent. We just don't like his touches. They got to give him the ball. And they're giving him the ball, 11 times or giving him the ball 7 times. You just feel like it's not enough. So if you tell me that Bijan, or if you believe he's going to get somewhere between 15 and 22 catches, then I love Bijan. But if he's going to be around that 7 to 12, I like Bijan.
All right, let's take a look at Denver and Kansas City. It's a low-scoring game, guys, 41.5. I know Willie's probably going to say pass on a lot of the plays here because there's not a lot for Denver that we like. I can't imagine that there is. For Kansas City, it's a tough defense. It's a really tough defense, right? Denver's better than we think. There's Kelsey, there's Hopkins, there's Hunt, there's Mahomes. Willie, do we like any of them? I don't see me pressing a button with any Chiefs player on it.
I mean, my favorite player, and I've been on this player since he's been back, is Hopkins. That's my favorite play of this game, and we were all on him on Monday night. On him before. It didn't turn out, but now he's, getting in the office. So, I mean, honestly, I just think Denver's just good enough to not let them go off, and for me, I don't want to take a chance on Mr. Hunt's, 3.2 yards per carry that he gets in the game. So, to me, most of this will be the pass. The only guy that I have slight interest is Hopkins, and that's it.
Swami, I think I'm having no Hopkins. Hopkins is great against zone coverage, and I don't think they're going to see a lot of zone coverage against Denver. But maybe, am I missing something?
Doc, I think you're selling Hopkins a little bit short. I think Hopkins is just a good wide receiver. And I also think the Kansas City offense is starting to figure him out, and I think so is Mahomes. And for that reason, I think he's a good player. I agree with Willie. I would almost say at that price, I'm tempted to lock him in. because it's not like you're taking a huge chance. We know what D-Hop can do. He showed it again last week. I don't think it's that risky of a play. And Denver is tough. And what I like about tough defenses is sometimes you're going to have to scrap and make plays. That could mean double-digit targets for, say, somebody like Kelsey, or double-digit targets for somebody like Hopkins. And then they start to really show up as far as being able to do something big. So I like it, and I will be also interested in the way that they use Sutton. He's getting it all right now. I don't know if the matchup is as good this week, but I think I like it enough. Shepard didn't do a whole lot. Myers did okay. So, I would be probably interested in Sutton and Hopkins.
I like Sutton too. All right. Buffalo is playing Indianapolis. This is a 46.5. But if you ask me, this game could blow up a little bit. I can find your roadmap where it happens. I think Jonathan Taylor's really in play. I think Josh Downs a little flop laggy after a disaster last week. Shakir, as Neural Skyway said, definitely in play. I feel, Swami, I could be Taylor and Shakir from this game and feel pretty good about it. I also like Dalton Kincaid a little bit. But if I like Shakir and I like Kincaid, maybe I should be liking Josh Allen. I'm throwing it out there. Yes or no?
I think you like the pieces more than I do, but I think I like Allen more than you do. So I think if you put it together, I think we got something, because I think Allen, this sets up to be one of those kind of, and so I had a couple people talk about, had the Colts as an upset pick. My cousin was talking about it. Shout out to Jerome. But I just don't think that the Colts are going to be able to do it. The Bills seem to have it going a little bit more. I know Cooper may not necessarily be a go, but they are just getting it done, whether they are, scrapping or making big plays, however they're doing it, long drives, they're figuring it out. And I think this is one of those games where the Colts might put up enough of a fight where it will push Allen up to the point. So I like him a lot. I like Downs and Allen a lot. And you could talk me into Taylor. I think he could potentially be in a good spot. I know he had a huge game, I think, a couple seasons ago against them. I think he's probably going a little bit under the radar. And I don't know if it's necessarily one Bill that I like as much as Allen. I just feel like everybody's going to be in the mix and maybe spreading around the 5 guys.
Willie, Keon Coleman is out. Cooper's not 100%. But I still think this game is sneaky. I think Taylor is a really, really strong play. Who are you playing in this game?
Probably Shakir and Downs. I would be interested in, those two. Listen, Taylor, like I said, man, he for some reason something's not right. Way he's using or something. I mean, and Buffalo's going to play a lot of zone, in this thing. So, and this will definitely be a better matchup because what's the name looked horrible against Minnesota. He was horrible.
Did you say something's wrong with Taylor? What Taylor?
No, listen. I'm not saying. I'm not getting to a lot of Taylor. That's all. I mean,
I was just going to point out that he was probably averaging maybe 24 fantasy points, except for the last game against Minnesota. It was a tough run defense, so he'll probably hang another 24 up this week. But okay,
guys, what about A.D. Mitchell? If Pittman is out, is A.D. Mitchell in?
Pittman is out,
but he's a man of interest. Pittman's out, but he's a man of interest. I don't think I'm going to take that shot, only because just don't seem to be involved. He's talented, but are they going to get him involved? That's the only problem. They haven't to this point. Even when they had guys out, Pittman hasn't been 100%. He still wasn't in there. He's not,
Let me I want to give a shout out to you. Is Jerome your nephew, cousin? What is it?
Oh, that's Romy. Yeah, my cousin. Yeah.
Cousin Romy. Listen, cousin Romy, dude, you are so right. If I were to bet this game, I'm betting the Colts, and I'm telling you why. I'm telling you, the NFL is never the way you think it is. Last week we see the Bills play well, we see the Colts play like poo. What do we think? Bills are going to kill them. It's the first thing we think. Doesn't work that way. The NFL never works the way you think. So, cousin Romy, I think you're right. All right, let's get to Pittsburgh against Washington. Your Commanders, Willie. Your Commanders. Is this a Jaden Daniels week? Is this a McLaurin week? Is this an Eckler? Is this a Noah Brown week? On the other side, is it a Najee Harris week? Is it a Pickens week? What are you doing?
I think this game is not getting the shine that some of the other games are getting. And I think this game is interesting. People are not looking at Najee Harris. And Najee Harris has been getting the touches. He got, 23, 24 touches. And you can run on this Commanders defense. Okay? And I think another guy, I think three guys are in play in this game. I think Russell Wilson is in play in this game. Russell Wilson is averaging just as many points is averaging more points per game than the quarterback for Minnesota is averaging. Okay, he's out. Justin Fields averaged 19 points a game. I know he played 2 games, but this is what I like about Russell Wilson. Number one is they put 37 points on the Jets defense. Who else scored 37 points on the Jets defense? Number one. Number two is the fact that Russell Wilson throws the ball deep. Okay, Justin Fields in 6 games he played, he threw the end zone 6 times. Russell Wilson in 2 games played has thrown to the end zone 9 times. 9 times. What do you want? You want a quarterback, and now you get Mike Williams, also involved in this game. The point I'm trying to tell you is I think Russell Wilson is a very, very interesting play in this game. And I think this game is not being talked about like, the Colts game. They're not talking about that like that. And I think another guy that is a man of interest is that receiver, Mr. Pickens, against them. So I think this is a viable 3-man stack that a lot of people won't have, that I think is very interesting, where you go the running back, the quarterback, and the receiver in this game. So I think this is interesting. Or if you play the 2 receivers, I think Noah Brown is interesting. Noah Brown has gotten 81% of the snaps in the last couple of games. He is the man of interest for that he now trusts, and he still is just at 4,300. So I think Noah Brown is a very interesting piece in this game.
Swami, Heat Override said something interesting here. He goes, the Steelers play against Jackson all the time. Daniels is similar. So it's not like he's bringing an element that the Steelers defense hasn't seen. Willie, we don't see you anymore. We only see the light.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Unless it's the light from above.
That's probably good, Doc. I was actually pretty glad. Finish your question there, Doc.
So my question now is Daniels in play? Do we think this game could get – I don't disagree that Willie's idea of the Wilson, Najee, Pickens is interesting. But can Washington do enough? Washington really hasn't laid an egg yet. Is this the game they laid an egg?
Washington, believe it or not, Doc, I'll say 2 things. First, I don't think Willie's just totally off like his phone just was, right? In this case, because Daniels seems like he's got the entire team playing better now, right? He is playing like wow. And now the team is starting to seem to play a little better. Defense seem to play a little bit better. Everybody's making plays. Now they're starting to, can they keep Robinson in the lineup? And I think if he can stay healthy, this team, they really got something going. With that being said, Doc, I do agree with Heat. It's not like, even though I think Daniels does some things differently, DeMar might do some things differently. There's just some similarities in that game. I agree. So for that reason, I could see this game being one where they're moving between the 20s, but that they're stalling. And so my concern with this game is that I'm going to be looking at both kickers, and both of these kickers are playing well. Let's not forget. And I could see them out there 3-4 kicks each, and maybe each team getting in the end zone 1 or 2 times. And the reason is I just think it's going to be a scrap. It's going to be a great to watch. But as far as stacking and all of that, I'm not mad at it, but I'm not leaning that way, Doc. I'm leaning the other way.
All right, let's get to another sneaky game here. Minnesota against Jacksonville. Now, Willie, people are going to go Darnold. He's going to be popular. Jefferson's going to be popular. Aaron Jones is going to be popular. Hawkinson's going to be popular. But Mac Jones, Mac the Knife, practically free. Is he this week's Minshew? And is Dr. Roto going to play him on one of his 3 lineups?
I'm pretty sure you will.
Pretty sure I will.
And
what are you doing in this game?
After I see that display, where how they hemmed up and they hit up in Indianapolis. Mr. Matt Jones, he could sit down somewhere. I am not playing Matt Jones. I get it. I'm not mad at you, but I'm not playing it. And I think like on this in this slate right here, when you really look at it, Jefferson, I get it, 8,800, great matchup, but their starting quarterback is not playing. They got some key injuries. Is this game going to stay close enough for him to go off like that? If I had to have some interest in a receiver, I would be Jefferson, be Addison at a lower rate, at a lower price.
Ooh, can I answer that?
Swami.
He said, is this game going to be close enough, Willie? I'll help you out, buddy. Not just no, but hell no. Let me tell you why. The difference first, Doc, between Mr. Minshew is, if you remember, his biggest fantasy day is something like 34 points. Where if you look at Mr. Jones, his best day, he hasn't cracked 20. No, thank you.
But he doesn't, if he throws 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, is that not going to pay off big time?
It would, Doc.
It will.
But 202 touchdowns is about 202 touchdowns more than what I got him doing.
How about 201 touchdowns, 14 points? Because Gardner Minshew couldn't even give me that last week.
I got him doing what Minshew did, Doc. I'm being honest. Almost exact numbers. And even though Minshew got pulled early, it's just you just got more faith in the other side. I was with Trevor. I was all on Lawrence. I know that you all might not necessarily have been huge fans, but if you would have gave me Lawrence and Brian Thomas, I would have been interested in that. Once you take him out, you can take likely Jefferson, Mr. Jefferson with him, and probably even I still got some interest in the running back. But
So let's talk about what Willie said for a second. Willie, you said that this game could be out of control. Minnesota has not been full throttle all season. They have not been in a back and forth game all season, maybe one game. So is Jefferson just not going to pay off? Is Aaron Jones just not going to pay off?
I listen, Aaron Jones, I see that, they got somebody else that he like to give the ball to, and they said they're going to run the ball to him a little bit more. And they're trying to preserve Aaron Jones for, when it's more important for the playoff time, And I can see this game right here where, they get up by 20-something points. And then, Jefferson, therefore, is not going to get what he needs to get, in terms of, being worth that price point at 8,800, because you like a game to be competitive in order to push them. And I don't know if they're going to get pushed in this game. So Jefferson getting 23 points is not going to take down the slate. Okay, with him getting 23 points at his price point, So, so for me and Mr. Hawkinson, yeah, I see him, but I think I could get a better value from Mr. Hawkinson because I think he's still trying to come.
I do not see him. I know Doc mentioned him on the first look, and the reason why, because I played him for the first time at the Holding that bastard all season, and every tight end in the National Football League played for the Vikings in that game. And Hawkins, I seen him out there the least. Every time I looked, it was a different tight end, and they got all. He was in.
Mr.
Wasn't that expected, Swami, in his first game back? That was expected.
It was expected. I didn't think he would be. He felt more like the second or third guy. I expected him to feel like the first guy, even if the snaps were the same. And when they were going to the tight ends down in the red zone on key plays and stuff, he went in the game. 3 other tight ends. They got 3 other targets in the end zone, and then none of them were. 3 tight ends were targeted. Hopkins had the one on the pick. No, Hawkinson, no.
All right. Let's move on. New England and Chicago. I have 2 players that I'm thinking about in this game, Swami. For New England, I will think about Hunter Henry, maybe Ramondre Stevenson. And on the other side, Swift, and more Swift. Because Caleb Williams is large cheeks. Not little ones, large.
Oh, Doc, I do agree with you. Williams is due. So I do like Swift. I definitely like Hunter Henry. He's close to being maybe my favorite tight end on the slate. only because Mr. Kittle has got some company, and then Henry's got a little bit better price. I think the game is a little bit more, anyway, I think Swift is probably a play. I got a little bit of interest, just a little bit more this week for some reason. Just a little bit, Doc. Just a little bit. But Swift and Henry, and I think I'm going to let Willie have all the rest of it.
Well, so, Willie, let's talk about what Swami said. Two things. One, Moore looks pissed off, dude. He does not want to be out there. Do they feed Moore just to keep him quiet? Question one. And then question two, McBride was really good against Chicago last week. Hunter Henry plays a whole lot like McBride. It feels like that's a good play.
Listen, he's is going to be my highest owned tight end. And him and Jason Hill will be my highest owned tight end, period. And, for what I think I could get from that price point, yeah. I think Henry and I like the quarterback. I like New England's quarterback. He could ball, he could play, and he loves to feed the ball to Henry. So I am a big fan of Mr. Henry. And I think Rashonde, I mean, I could see taking a one shot out of 20 lineups to see what he might do. But listen, the running back for Chicago is going to be one of those core plays. New England gets killed against the run, and I just think that, give me. And what I hope is, what I don't like is, the only thing I don't like about him is Swift at the goal line. They keep giving the ball to the other dude, so I don't like that's the part I don't like. Okay, I don't
remember you said that about at the goal line they give the ball to another dude.
Rashawn Johnson is there. He's right. Willie's not wrong about that. But Khalil Herbert's not there. By the way, one carry for Khalil Herbert. Nice fumble, dude.
Yeah, but he was out the game.
He was hinting earlier to playing Saquon Barkley. So I just said I want to remember that. He said I want to bookmark.
Listen, I am not backing up on another thing I said about that.
I just said bookmark that moment in the show, guys, and remember.
Yeah.
All right, Tennessee and the Chargers. I'm just going to say one thing about this game, Swami. I was so impressed with the Chargers defense last week. They were great against famous Jameis. If Will Levis plays this week, I don't like paying up for defenses, but I'm not against paying up for the Chargers.
I think here's the only difference, and not that I think Levis is any better, but it's a little bit of, I'm going to call it cockiness with Mr. Jameson and their willingness to continue to throw it even when he's not playing well. He's a risk taker. He's throwing it up. That's who he is. Everywhere he goes, he's Mr. Pick Six. Folks were taking props on him for 3 picks, and they were happy last week. But I don't think they're going to let Levis, even though he's going to definitely make some mistakes and there's going to be some points. I don't think we're going to see just that kind of arrogance from the offense on the other side.
Willie, do you like Dobbins? Do you like Lab McConkey? Do you like anybody this week?
No, I think honestly, I would have been on that Nakia guy if Rudolph was still in there. I like the way Rudolph had a little connection with him, and I like the way Rudolph looks. I would have taken a shot with Rudolph, because I think Rudolph is an interesting quarterback. But this guy they bring it back stinks. He has. I mean, God, dog, man, why they bring this good?
And that's why I went from being high on Herbert, Doc. I thought he might have been in a good spot to come back with again with some of his guys. But then once they did that Levis play, it was all defense.
Man, I mean, that means Pollard is not, man. I don't like nothing. I don't like nothing in this game because I think Tennessee's defense is better than what people give them credit for. And, and San Diego they need to be pushed. And I don't see no pushing come out of this game here for some reason.
All right. Philadelphia goes to Dallas. Now, last week, I said on the Sunday morning Discord that I thought Derrick Henry was a great play last week because of the low ownership. Everybody's going to be on Kamara. Everybody's going to be on Bijan. Saquon is going to be under-owned because he's going to be the most expensive guy. Swami, I think all my lineups may have to have Saquon in it because I don't think Dallas could stop Saquon at all.
Well, Doc, first of all, I'm going to say I can't argue with you, but I'm going to argue with you because it's just good TV. I just think that with the touchdown vulture that's even when Barkley is putting in the work, he's averaging 6 or 7 yards a carry. They're still willing to go with that ridiculous looking play. Now, sometimes I think the play is necessary or appropriate when you got inches. Sometimes I don't think on 1st and goal is necessary when Saquon Barkley is looking unstoppable. Stop taking touchdowns away from him. He did the dirty work to get down there. A couple of games they weren't playing well. Say the game against New Orleans and 15-12 game, and you guys are able to lean on him in a close game. I said, give the guy the ball. And the same thing when he was the focal point of offense and they were going against the Giants, give the guy the ball. Cut this, stop with this crap. But they're not listening to me. I sent stuff through the website. I called up the team, and they blocking my calls at this point. But no worries. So I'm not a fan of that play. That's the only negative that I can say about Barkley, and that the fact the game may not be competitive. I don't have a lot of faith in Cooper Rush. I don't think the Cowboys at this point can put up enough of a fight to hold the Eagles off. And Saquon has shown us that when the game gets out of hand, he's willing to take a back seat and let those other guys get some run. So for that reason, Doc, I may have to let y'all lock him in. I may just sprinkle him in.
Willie, Dallas, Cooper Rush is there. Dak Prescott was horrible. Cooper Rush cannot be worse than Dak Prescott. Cannot be. It's impossible. We still have Lamb. You still have Rico Dowdle, who looked pretty good last week. You still have Jalen Tolbert. He's laughing. You still have A.J. Brown. I don't think Cooper Rush is the worst start ever, because if you want a cheap quarterback, which you know I always want to have one, he's dirt cheap. Can you play anybody in this game?
Yes, I can, but listen, let me say this. I think this game is going to be closer than what people are giving it, because it's a divisional game. It's a divisional game. They play in Dallas. They have been absolutely cheeks. I get it. But I just think that, listen, like I said before, 6 people have scored 30, or six times people have gone over 36 points. Saquon is in 3 of them. When you got somebody like that going against one of the bottom row defenses against the run, I'm going to have some interest. And he will be a core play for me, and he will be in most of my lineups. I'm going to say that Saquon Barkley. I'm not saying everybody else, but Mr. Barkley, come on to my team. Listen, let's Swami get all sensitive because his running back didn't get the damn ball. So what? That's DFS. Get some balls. Put your balls on the table, and then act like, for once that he could get 2 or 3 touchdowns himself, and then Jayden Hurts will stop being a selfish bastard and let him get the ball at the goal line. So I think secretly, I think Barkley is hitting him in the back of his head, busting him in his head, saying, look, man, give me the ball. Give me the ball at the goal line for once. God, Dak, stop eating. So I am going with Mr. Barkley this week. That's why they pay you to make these calls, sir. And don't let something, because it's a great matchup, that you're going to get off and go, because he ain't going to touch the ball at the goal line. Maybe he run the ball for 65 yards for a touchdown. How about that? If you run for 65 with a touchdown, then that's 12 points right there. Come on, so get some nuts, sir. Get some nuts. And Doc and I are going to be on I got to call him, Mr. Barkley. Mr. Barkley will be in most of my lineups, sir.
Yikes there, Swami. You've been told to get some nuts. Who knew?
He's only talking about nuts because he is what he eats. He loves cashews.
Very cheeky man.
He loves cashews and pecans and chestnuts.
All right, let's get to this next game here, guys. This is interesting. Jets and Cardinals. Cardinals have been playing much better this year. But the Jets now, without Mike Williams, who kind of stinks anyway, you could literally go Rodgers, Breece Hall, Adams, and Wilson, and you will get all the points that the Jets put up this week. If the Jets put up a 31 spot, you're going to get almost all those points. Willie, do you like this at all? Can you bring it back with Harrison? Do you like Connor? Or do you just think that Aaron Rodgers is annoying and you don't want any part of it?
Listen, first of all, Connor had some weird stuff that happened to him the last game. where he slipped down. There's some stupid stuff that happened in the last game, and then the game blew out. I think this game is going to be competitive, but the person I like more than any of them is I like Wilson. I love Wilson in this matchup. I think this is a great matchup. I think having Devontae Adams in that lineup opens it up for Wilson. Matter of fact, his depth of target has improved by over 3 or 4 yards since he's been there. You know what I mean? So, he has more room. So most people thought, because Adams was there, that it's going to, remember, Adams is older. Adams is the older guy, and Wilson is the one that can take the top off. And what I'm saying to you is, I love Wilson this game, and I like running the back with Mr. Connor. I think Mr. Connor is a man of interest. He's going to get the rock, and you can run the ball, on the Jets. So I just think that Connor is very interesting in this game. And you saw, you saw that with Houston last week. They ran the ball. So I think Connor is definitely a man of interest for me, and I like Wilson. So I think I might have those two going on back and forth, in this game.
Swami, I like the Jets, but they're expensive. You're not getting any deal with Wilson. You're not getting any deal with Breece Hall. You're not getting any deal with Adams. But, you play DFS basketball. There are times that you play an entire lineup for a team if you like it. Do you like the Jets enough?
No. Short answer. In fact, Doc, not just no. And let me tell you why. I know you said they could put up 31 points. The only time a Jets scoreboard has seen over 30 points this year was when the Steelers put it up. I think 24-21 has been the tops that they've had. And even then, it's come on the back of fantastic plays and fantastic catches by Wilson. Last week, I was about to mention when you talked about how after the second half, Rodgers went off. I want to say Rodgers almost didn't do a damn thing. That Wilson kid is who went off. He ain't do a damn. Fantastic catches. That goofball, in fact, Rodgers probably almost blew it getting sacked and not making plays and throwing bad balls, and the receivers probably bailed him out. It was a beautiful throw through the Adams. But anyway, so and Arizona's defense, I think, is a little bit interesting. But the only way I like this game is if you like the Arizona side. Willie mentioned Connors. I think Harrison, maybe even maybe I know you don't like the quarterback, Doc, and I've since kind of relaxed on it. But I could see if you would have stacked it somewhere, you do a crazy stack, one of them danger tipsy stacks where maybe you do a Rodgers and you come back with Connor and Harrison, something crazy like that. Might be interesting here, but I don't know if I want to just stack the Jets at those prices like that against them because I don't like it, Doc. It's something here though. You want to play something in this game, but I don't think I like that full stack.
All right, let's get to the Sunday night game, guys, the FanDuel game, which we always like to have the late night hammer. Detroit and Houston. This is a 48.5 spot. This game could blow up a little bit. I can see this game, two good offensive coordinators, two very shaky defenses. Willie, you can kind of run on the Lions. You used to not be able to run on them. Joe Mixon, dangerous saying, was the leverage play of the week there. Do you like Mixon? Do you like any of the guys on the Lions? Who do you like this week?
I think Amon is definitely a man of interest to me. I like him, and I think the guy that a lot of people will not be looking at that Houston get beat deep is Jameson Williamson is coming back, and he will be on nobody's radar on FanDuel. So I think he is a very interesting guy, and the main receiver is coming back for Houston. Correct? Is he playing?
Nico Collins. They don't know yet, but I expect that he'll play.
I mean, and I'm gonna tell you, man. Listen, Nico is that dog. He is that dog that I really, really have respect for, and I got a sense of how good he was when you watch Houston without him. You look at Houston without him; they look like they lost, But I guarantee you, playing at home, this game will be more in play. Now, is that Detroit lineman going to play that they got in this game, or do you know if he's playing or not?
Say that again.
Detroit got a defensive lineman.
Pascal, the guy from Pascal?
No,
Pascal, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he came from somewhere. Detroit got somebody at the
Oh,
bench.
Zadarius Smith.
Yes, is he playing?
He's questionable.
Okay, but I just think you got a couple of things. I mean, the people I'm interested. I think Nixon will be a very interesting play because you're looking at. I mean, sometimes you got to look at what's been going on lately, instead of like what was going on earlier in the season. And Detroit has been giving it up surprisingly against the run lately. So Nixon will be, a contrarian play. I do like both Detroit receivers. I like Detroit receivers a lot.
Swami, Will Anderson is out. Fadukasi is questionable. You lose Will Anderson, Jared Goff's going to have a lot of time to throw that football. Is this a game we could stack for the little Sunday night late hammer?
I'm not mad at it, Doc. I don't know. I like Collins coming back. I just don't know if Houston can keep up with the Lions right now. The Lions still are just playing a little bit better than, Houston. And I said a little bit, I mean a lot of bit. I just think it's just not. I can't see the game unless you guys tell me y'all like Collins coming back and you think he's going to be able to do something. I can't. The Lions got too much on offense. I don't think Houston can slow them down much. The Lions will have to turn the ball over like three plus times for them to even stay in it. And Stroud has honestly been struggling. So you do like the fact that Collins is there and Mixon has been playing well, but I can't really see it. So you got to play something here. What is it? I don't know. Is it Collins, Odell? And if they can do something, then yes, I like St. Brown. Other than that, I would probably take in Montgomery.
I will say this. In this game, I think has more potential than any of the other games that we have on the slate. As a group in terms of what I mean by being competitive.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Of being competitive and you can score. Because Detroit can score. So what I'm saying to you is, if we're looking at it in game theory wise, Nico Collins makes that quarterback better. He's back. He's got his blanket back with him. So now, you could get you get the other receiver in this normal spot and they're both in play. So I'm just saying, to me, I think this game is going to be more interesting than everybody else think. And I think this is a time to, hey, listen, everybody want to wait till Nico has his first game. I want to strike now before Nico, goes out there. I want to play him before he goes out there and everybody see him. If he puts up 30 points, then what's going to happen?
But Willie, that's the same thing as Hawkinson. Hawkinson scores this week. Everybody is on him next week. You got to be on the guy before it happens.
Right.
Same thing with Taysom Hill.
Right.
I don't want to be late to the party. I want to be early to the party.
And I'm mad that we got one game that's Monday night that is not on this slate. That would have been bonkers, for this. That would have added some extra stuff, that Miami game. It's not on this slate.
But Doc, I like what you're saying because it's a little bit more calculated, right? You're saying, hey, Hopkins is just working his way in. That's why those other guys were kind of more involved there. And to me, I was saying it looked like those guys are going to continue to be involved and Hopkins isn't going to get the piece that I was expecting to get. Meaning I was expecting to get, say, 70, 80% of what the tight end kind of targets. And it looked like he's in a three-way split. And I see that three-way split continuing. I could be wrong in that. The difference between what I think you're saying and what Willie's saying, Willie's just saying guys coming back, what I like to call wild ass guess, and then if he hits, then great. I don't think that's the same type of thing. I think that's not.
They're similar. Is that you're a week early versus a week late? Because when you're a week late, the ownership goes up and the price goes up. You're going to get Nico Collins now at a steal.
But if we were taking chance on, say, guys like Coker and guys like that, and we keep saying a week early, we just getting zeros early. But you say somebody like Collins, well, Collins was the guy before he left.
Yeah, but Hawkinson and Collins are good players. Hawkinson is one of the top 7 tight ends in the league.
I expected him to come back and be respected that way. Like, I don't think Kelsey.
Johnny Munt, Hawkinson is going to double Munt snaps this week. Double.
But you think that
it was
I stand corrected on Hopkins. But the thing I think is different, what I think makes that offense go, I do agree that Nico's the man, Willie. You've proven to be right on that. I think what makes that offense go is when they can run the ball. I don't know if they'll be able to do that against the Lions. I think Mixon is his blanket. I think that Collins benefits from what Mr. Mixon is doing. And if Mr. Mixon isn't able to get going, I think he'll struggle too.
All right, Willie, $100. Who's the stack?
The stack for me is I'm going to go. Actually, you know what? I'm going contrarian on. I'm doing a FanDuel stack. I'm doing a FanDuel stack. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Just say it. Say it.
So give me Mr. Golf. That nobody will play. I think golf is very interesting in this game. It's been give me Mr. Golf, letting him throw to Mr. Amon-Ra Brown, and then I run it back with Nico Collins.
Interesting. Swami, what you got?
I'm going with Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill. Oh, wait a minute. They're not on the damn slate either. So let's just play by the rules here, Doc, and not just make up whatever we feel like making up.
They are on the slate, sir. They're on FanDuel slate.
We ain't talking about FanDuel.
Do we
Swami, you give me the DK one. It's okay. Let Willie have his FanDuel one.
Doc, that stinks. So I'm going to give you a real one. I'm going to go, give me Mr. Josh Allen. This is going to be the first. I'm going to give you another one, right? Give me Josh Allen. Give me Shakir, maybe Cook, and I'm going to come back with Downs. But because I'm not going to just sell you short there, Doc, and I know you said, Swami, give me something a little bit more risque. Doc, I'm your guy. Here you go. I'm going to give you Bijan Robinson, Mooney with Cousins, and I'm going to bring it back with Kamara.
With who?
Kamara.
Like it.
There.
Like it.
Hey, listen, I'll give a DraftKings. It's the one I told you before that's going to be low on. I think Russell Pickens and
Najee.
I think they could play, and also you could just do Russell Pickens, and you could run it back with Noah Brown. I do like that stack on DraftKings.
Swami, I like your stack. I like the Allen one. I think that's the one people are overlooking. I think that game can go nuclear and Allen can go off and you'll be like, he put up the 30 spot and I needed it. The other one that I'm thinking is I'm going to put it into the Sims and see how it looks. Rodgers, Hall, Adams, Wilson. Just throw them all in and basically say, if the Jets score, I'm scoring. Because I think the Jets could put up 4 touchdowns. I know they won't, but if they do, I'm going to be making money.
I'm just trying to be competitive. It feels like Connor and them and their drives are more 6-7 minutes. I haven't seen Arizona hit a bunch of one play type drives.
That's the problem. That's the truth. You're saying the truth there, right? And that's the problem is that that's why the Colts one is interesting because if they can go to Mitchell and make a big play and Taylor runs it in, now you got the back and forth where you are right. The Rodgers is methodical going down the field slowly like a Chinese water torture. So thank you for that one. All right. Balls to the Walls call with Willie Walls. What you got?
I got 2. And the guy that did not mention on purpose is the guy for Tampa Bay that is is their deep guy that people don't know about. His name is Raheem Jarrett. I think Raheem Jarrett is very interesting in this game against the 49ers. And the other guy that I had, like I mentioned before, was Noah Brown.
Like Noah Brown. Swami, by the way, a little trivia. Did you know where Raheem Jarrett went to college?
Maryland.
He did.
And know a lot more about these doggone plays that he keep talking about a sleepers, Doc. This is almost criminal. He's got more plays. Give him up, Willie. Help us out. Some doggone that.
Are you holding back, Willie Walls?
He's gotta be. Doc, hey, stick him up, Willie. What are you talking about, man? Coming. Man, this joker, Doc. Anyway.
I do like Noah Brown. He's a good player. All right, who you got? Swami says who?
I'm going back. I've said his name a couple of times. He's only let us down once. Mr. Alec Pierce. I think he becomes a man of interest in this game, especially if it goes the way that we're talking about it going, Doc. Write him down. I think he's a man.
I'm like writing it down.
And the one that nobody's talking about right now, and I know I already kind of mentioned it, I just feel like he has to and they have to, and I'm talking about Mr. DJ Moore. That's calling the play nobody's thinking about. He needs to get his stuff going. They need to get him going, and that'll help out Caleb Williams get off the do train.
Yeah, that's not the squeaky wheel. That's the keep Moore happy, or Moore is just going to be Spiffing.
Who you got, Doc?
I got two, and they're in the same game. One is my boy Ray McLeod, who the Saints cannot cover the slot. And on the other side, Mason Tipton. Mason Tipton, you're looking for a cheap guy. I mean, they have no other receivers there. Maybe he makes a play. I know they really liked him in preseason. Willie's smiling. It's probably on his secret list there that he wrote down next to Raheem Jarrett.
Exactly.
Mason Tipton.
Hold out. Hold out, Doc.
You holding out, Willie Walls?
No, sir. But there are a couple of people that I do have in mind that will be men of interest as we get closer. But I just think that those two. I just think that Jarrett has a lot of potential, man. He really does. And
he was good. He was good.
One thing I'm gonna say about Tampa, they scrappy. They are scrappy, man. Regardless of who they lost, they were still making plays. You know, they've been very. I like that offensive coordinator, man. I think I like him, and I just think that they might have something where people sometimes you want to go with somebody that people don't see coming. He had a 1.9 points the last game, but this is the type of game that where people don't see this guy coming. He gets one deep, he gets that touchdown, and at that price point, that could be your guy.
He's behind Palmer, McMillan, Shepard, and White in the passing game. I just don't know if I want the sixth guy.
He's playing more plays than those guys.
He's playing more plays, but he's not getting more targets.
I think the big question there, Swami, is McMillan out? If McMillan is out,
right,
it's better. If McMillan's playing, do not play it.
Right.
All right. We're almost out of here. You know what we do. Catch me tomorrow morning on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio from 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern. And, of course, on Sunday morning, we're in our Discord chat answering your questions. For this great Swami, Willie Walls, this is Dr. Roto saying be well and take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care. Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.